Hello everyone, Cryptoid here, and welcome to another live stream. Today is early morning of the 4th of July. I wanted to make a quick recap, more of a quick recap than one of the normal formats that we do. This is not a normal live stream, but more of a recap because everything or almost everything that I have discussed in the last couple of streams is going according to plan, and I wanted to make sure to empathize or review these charts that we've been talking about over and over because this is now that it's happening, so it's kind of important to summarize and emphasize the points that we've been discussing so that we can make the most of them. So if you've been following the last couple of streams, you know that I've been stressing on the 2-day MTF on most coins, and I have been saying over and over that most coins are in need for a drop due to the 2-day MTF. And I've shown you several specific examples where I even said I'm almost certain that they have to drop below the current patterns they are in. Um, if you take a look at the last one, you would see that on Bitcoin, for example, I said that Bitcoin has to dip first to close the current MTF wave indicator gap like this. And as you can see, today was a good example of how the gap closes and how it actually works like a magnet and attracts the lighter curve, which is the gray curve, towards the heavier curve, which is the blue curve, and how this has this magnet effect or the kind of rubber rebound effect. And as you can see today, or the day that closed, I mean yesterday, and the start of today are a very good example of that. We've had Bitcoin drop 7% in the past 24 hours, and that is why I want to talk a bit about the indicator, because I believe that the MTF wave indicator is extremely underrated. I doubt there is any other indicator that could have shown this kind of fake out, because what we had here is this current bounce here on Bitcoin. We cannot name it anything else other than a fake out, because if you would be following any form of other analysis, you would have been tricked probably by this bounce, and you would probably think that this broke the trend line and that this would continue upwards. But we here have a tool that simply gave you a very clear signal that this is a fake out, and that's because when you have a bounce and you see gray moving far ahead from blue, so the difference here was very big. So let's just mark this. This is here the distance between gray and blue. Okay, compared to in other instances where you have them moving together, like for example here you had them kind of moving together, but here you had gray stray away alone. And when that happens, usually what needs to happen is that this gap between gray and blue needs to close, and for it to close, one needs to pull the other towards it. And knowing the MTF and understanding it, you know that the higher probability is always for the larger time frame curve to pull the lower time frame curve, and in that case it was blue versus gray. And for that to happen, blue needed to pull gray down, and with it the price action. And on other previous instances, like for here for example, you can see the opposite happened, and when you look at the price action, you see that this was before a bounce up. Okay, so in that instance price went up by 7%, and today it went down by 7%. We had other instances, for example here, okay, on that fake down, which was also very clear with a gear up on green, which I discussed before what it means. You had then a pump of about 44% on Bitcoin, so it was also very visible. So what happened here is on the past couple of streams I was emphasizing that this 2 day, give me a second guys. So on the past couple of streams, as I said, we were talking about how the 2 day has to result in a drop, and that we were waiting for this simply to go down so that we start looking for a long entry. I want to be discussing a couple of coins today, specifically that I made a very bold assumption on. For example, GMT. Okay, if you go back to the last stream and the one before it, you would see that I made a very bold statement very early on that this is going to drop down to the last low. B- and contrary to the ordinary belief before today, so let me just pull the chart back to where it was actually. So I believe it was here, and you can go back to the live streams. When the price was here, despite this being a triangle and usually people looking for this as a probable pattern that's going to indicate a pump upwards, the MTF here at that stage showed us a fake up like that. Okay, and when I decided to investigate this fake up further, this current fake up here, and I decided to zoom in on it, and I started by marking this vertical curve here, and I decided to go to the 4 hour at that time, and I said, okay guys, this looks like an ideal MTF wave. Okay, let me just show you what I mean by that for those who don't understand the MTF. So when we say an ideal MTF wave, this is how an ideal MTF wave looks like. And what this does is you have here usually this green curve moving like that, and this is the larger time frame curve, and then you have all these gray and blue zigzagging, and every time here when we are still at this bullish part of the wave, you see that gray is usually below blue, and it does these triangles or these V shapes. And then at some point what you see is you see that this actually instead of having this V shape below, suddenly it twists it or makes it upside down. So for it makes it the other way around. Okay, so when you have this as a V and then this one as an inverted V, usually this is already an indication of a reversal, and this is a short entry for you, especially when you also have this green curve here curving down. So as you can see here, we already had this green curving down, and then we had this flip to the other side where gray moved above blue. Okay, so this is the ideal stochastic wave reversal. Okay, they can vary in shape, meaning they can be shorter. So for example, this part here where it's at the very top and it shows these red highlights, it can be shorter or it can be longer. But the thing is, not always do you know when it's gonna end, meaning if it's gonna be a short one or a long one. But the thing is, when you suspect that this is probably a local top, the nice thing about this indicator, and that's really the powerful tool when you trade with it, or this makes it a powerful tool to trade with, is that then you can decide to zoom in on this one on a time frame that shows this gray curve as a green curve, and then you can repeat the process. And every time you zoom in and you do this layer of zoom in and this confirmation attempt, okay, for a reversal, we call it like one zoom in layer, or one layer of zoom in. And then sometimes you can do one that simply shows on a time frame, and then you zoom in for another layer, and then you zoom in for a third layer, and then you know that this is a combination of zoom ins from 3 different time frames. So for example, we can have a confirmation on the 2-day and then zoom in on the 4-hour, and when we see what we need to see, we zoom in on the 24-minute time frame, and this gives us like a triple confirmation or a triple zoom in, and a very strong precision on this trade. Okay, so let's just look at this on the coins that I mentioned in the last couple of streams, because in the last couple of streams maybe I didn't really elaborate on this method as much as I should for people who don't know how it works. So for example here, when I saw this 2-day fake up on GMT, and I have seen it also on ZIL and on Ape and on many other coins, when I saw this, I specifically said this is looking very bad and I expect this to dump. So that was the first time frame that we were looking at, the 2-day. Okay, and then we zoomed in again for the 4-hour, and with it we started seeing what appears to be a stochastic wave. So let me just fetch this one for you. So if you look at this current 4-hour, you see a resemblance with the shape I showed you, which is this one, or that one. Okay, and you see that this here is starting to, at this point, is starting to resemble a reversal entry, so like the one that I was showing on here. Why? Because you had this green curve here doing like that, and then at the same time you had gray tapping up here. So this is why I was saying that there are several coins that fit this description, where they are inside of a pattern, a very recognizable pattern, be it a triangle sometimes bear flag, sometimes an expanding one, and at the same time they were faking up on the 2-day, and at the same time on the 4-hour and 6-hour time frames they were showing this possible MTF stochastic wave reversal. Okay, and then I even posted where I shorted on one of those, and I said I personally believe there is absolutely no way for them to break up. At a couple of them I said they might wake up, form a blow off top and then drop, but I was certain they were going to go to their lows at least. And for example, taking this one as an example, you would see that after that it kept dropping until it reached this level. Okay, I personally had this short entry and I posted about it at the very peak here, and if you take a look at it, it's actually a 7 risk reward ratio, which is insanely good. This is a very tight stop loss of a 1.5% versus a 10% take profit. It actually dumped much more than that. If you pull it down, it went to almost 13%. And the reason how I actually timed this precision entry, if you take a look at it, it's a very high precision entry, because it didn't even move upwards after the entry. And the reason for that is because I marked again the start of that wave, and I just zoomed in for a triple confirmation on this one, and when I did that, I saw here that uh, this was, let me just draw this on it. Green was at the peak, and this was overbought for a very long time. If you look here, you see this point being overbought, and then when we were at this stage here, what I did was I marked this last wave because I identified as this being a squeeze wave upwards. I zoomed in on the 3-minute time frame, and I identified the reversal on this one on its own. How did I do that? Sorry, it wasn't the 3-minute. Yeah, it was actually, I think it was the 2-minute. And what I did was I zoomed in on this one, and you can see here the wave here was very visible, where I was trying to analyze this last wave. I found this green here doing that, and it was faking up very strongly here, so I entered. Okay, so this is showing you how when you do this triple confirmation you can get this kind of insane entry. So last couple of streams were more focused on market analysis. Today I'm actually really stressing how important and how much of an edge this indicator gives you, because I want people to understand this. So I want to stress out that this indicator is probably the only indicator that can give you this kind of edge, and the only indicator that can show you weakness when others can't, and it can show you weakness on support. So for example here, by all normal technical analysis standards, it's very uncommon for people to just short when a chart is, or the price is inside the pattern like that. Okay, usually what people do is they wait for a breakdown, or they short the resistance. They don't short in the middle of nowhere like that. So but when you have a tool that can show you the weakness in the middle of a pattern, you can then get a feeling or understanding of that this has weakness, and with this weakness there is a very low probability that it can continue to push upwards. And what this does is it gives you a much better entry, so when it retests the support you are already far from your entry, and you can move your stop loss to break even. So because at support it's very tricky currently, especially because of the volatility. If you would bet on a breakdown, breakout traders could be intrigued in a breakdown at like this, or a retest like this multiple times. So this kind of trading strategy can give you a much better entry. So that's why I made this stream today, to make like a recap on these entries that I posted, and these this market direction analysis that I posted in the last couple of streams. If you haven't looked at these streams, make sure to check them out in my channel. All you need to do is you need to go to the channel and check the current the last live streams. You will find them in the live streams section, and you can take a look at them, and you're going to see how I told you that this is going to drop. Okay, today is more about re-explaining my reasoning on the indicator itself, like I did. So again guys, if you want to learn this technique, make sure to join our Discord. The link is in the description and also on my channel. Join Discord, and then send me a DM on Discord, ask for the indicator access, I give you a 2 weeks trial on the MTF wave indicator and the MTF wave screener, and during the 2 weeks trial I teach you how to use it. I've had multiple people who already um, made the more than the indicator price during the trial. At this moment, the indicator is priced. The two indicators together are priced at $140 for lifetime access. And as I said, I've had multiple people who made much more money during the trial and managed to pay from their profits. So it's actually a no-brainer to come and take the trial, where I give you support during those 2 weeks. Okay, and where you had this illustration of how this works, and you have seen it in real life, real time, how it works, not just someone who's telling you, look at what this indicator did in the past, but you have seen in the last couple of days where I warned you from today's drop, and then today you have seen the drop. So, and the same happened on ape. If you look at ape, um, we had this expanding triangle over here, and at the same time we had this 2-day fake up. Okay, um, and then the gap closed as expected because it was too large of a fake up to pull upwards. And with it, when you zoom in on the 4 hour, not only did we have a tap up at the very top of the resistance here, which was actually a very good entry, but we had another confirmation entry which came in at this very large fake up. Okay, at the time of making of this fake up, it was so obvious. I even it was in the last stream. You would have seen it in the last stream when it looked like that. And this was also like a trend, so it was very visible and was a very easy trade for anyone who knew how to take these trades. Okay, so again, let me just show you how much of a resemblance this has with the ideal MTF wave here. So this is how the ideal wave reversal looks like, and this is how it happened. So I think this is pretty clear. Let me just show you one thing. So compare this to the one below, and you're gonna see that you had this tap up here. It's not as clear as this one, but then you had this late short entry like this one. Okay, and it was also showing confluence with other technical with other things, like for example this resistance here being tested. Okay, so it's just beautiful how this works and how easy it can be for it to show you the market direction. If you use an indicator that gives you a narrative like that, you don't get this panic that you usually get when you have no idea where the market could be headed. Because I remember a time where I did not know where the market was headed, like anyone at the beginning of his trading journey. But the key for trading is to have a trading narrative, regardless of whether it's accurate or not. But a trading narrative gives you a point of entry, an invalidation point, and a point of take profit. And the good thing about an invalidation point is it gives you the ability to set a stop loss. And when you have an indicator that is relatively accurate at giving you a narrative, it gives you also a peace of mind. But when you're the kind of trader who has several indicators in front of him and trying to just think of where the market is headed and investigating in all kind of ways and having so many alternatives, it doesn't give you a peace of mind, and then trading becomes so stressful, and opportunities are very few. You don't find a way to find opportunities, you don't find entries, and it just becomes a very bad thing to do to trade at this point. So that's the real advantage of having an indicator that is showing you waves and a full narrative of the waves that we have, whether they are corrective or impulsive. Uh, and another one that I was talking about was ZIL, okay, and the same happened with this one. Also, you can recognize the MTF wave reversal. Let me just get you this. So you put it in front of us. Yeah, so again, you can see here that the MTF wave indicator gave you this curve downwards like that. And it gave you even an entry here, was very visible, this one. Okay, and the reason for that was that this tap up here, and this tap up also you could have zoomed in for more confirmation for it, where here it didn't give an entry, but uh, this is where this trend line was actually helpful. Okay, and this trend line came from all the previous tops, so this is where you actually need some confluence to confirm what you need. Okay, because as I said before, you don't need to keep zooming in. If you have one time frame that's giving you something and then you have criteria for a stop loss, then go for it. So for example, if you have a fake up at a large time frame like the 2-day with a resistance and the price being at the resistance, that's enough for you to take the trade and set the stop loss above the resistance if it's a short, or below the resistance if it's a long, and a fake down instead of a fake up. Okay, but in our case we had the 2-day faking up, and then we had the 4-hour showing a reversal. So, and with it there was like a trend line already that had formed, which is this trend line over here. Okay, so more zoom in was not necessary, and this is how I shorted this one also. Okay, and that's pretty much it. If you take a look at the previous past couple of streams, you will understand how I analyzed those. Take a look at them. They're very good case studies for how to use this. Okay, now what's the situation for us? The situation is that we are waiting for this 2-day gap on Bitcoin to close. So let me just show you this one. Yeah, we are waiting for this gap to close here. It's gonna take a couple of days, so we're gonna probably have a couple of rough days ahead. And even if we try to zoom in on that wave to see if we're gonna get some rest in between or not, this is still in the gear down phase, so it's not slowing down really yet. It could stop here or not, but I wouldn't trade based on an idea that this is stopping down anytime soon. Okay, this is gonna probably take several days, and then when this gap closes, then we're gonna zoom in on the 4-hour and look for a reversal sign where this is starting to curve upwards somehow, and then we're gonna look at the reversal at some point here, and then an entry, long entry, to ride the wave upwards again. Okay, what else? If you take a look also on this screener here, if you remember, if you've been in the last couple of streams or take a look at them, you're gonna find that all coins, almost all coins, the majority of them were faking upwards on the 2-day MTF, but now these gaps are closing. Some are ahead of the others. So for example, you have some coins that are relatively close to closing the gap, like for example you have NMR here closing the gap, while you have IOTX still very open. And then you have coins that on a cycle of their own, like I described before, for example TRX, and we did an analysis on it. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna be updating my market analysis soon when I see something new, but I wanted to make this quick video to illustrate or to recap what we discussed before, since it played out. And of course I wanted to kind of gloat on how this prediction was very accurate. Okay, because it did exactly what I posted and predicted it to do. And therefore, guys, again, I'm encouraging you to take a trial at this indicator, which gives you these kind of entries that other indicators can't. Especially that it's a free trial. Yeah? You have nothing to lose when taking it, and probably everything to gain. Uh, uh, if you see any other, or if you know any other indicator or analysis that could have given you these three trades here that I posted about, this ape short here in the middle of nowhere, this GMT short with a 7 risk reward ratio like that, or like ZIL here, tell me, perhaps I'm missing anything, but I don't think there is any kind of strategy that could have given you the entry at this point. Probably they were gonna give you the entry after retest, after breakdown, at resistance, but not like that. So yeah, if you like the content, please guys, it helps a lot when you subscribe, like and share. Please do so. If you want to discuss anything that I discussed here, make sure to join our Discord. The link is in the description, and come and discuss it. Even if you don't like what I say, come and tell me why you disagree with it. Interaction is always appreciated, no matter in what direction. I love getting feedback. I love listening to other people's idea and learn from them as well. Okay, and again, guys, please remember, this is not financial advice. This is just one person sharing his thoughts. They are not financial advice in any way. If you need financial advice, contact your financial advisor. Okay, thank you, guys. Have a great early morning or great evening wherever you are. And I'm hoping that today on Thursday I'm gonna be able to have another stream. I'm also gonna start probably very soon to have a playlist with videos about case studies after the fact, okay, about trades that could have been taken based on the MTF, like these ones. Okay, these ones were posted, but I mean after the fact, so that these can become the learning material for people who are learning about the MTF. Okay, thank you again. Have a great day or evening wherever you are. Thank you.